10 top tips on how to get more land and new homes business. Today I'm joined by Peter Krelle, who has run the Countrywide new homes department and Hart. So what he doesn't know about land and new homes isn't worth knowing. Peter, top 10 tips for estate agents on how to get more land and new homes business. Talk to me.
Number one, develop a pitch document that covers everything that you have to offer. So many agencies don't seem to do this, and it's amazing. 2/3 of this, a decent pitch document, will be fixed in its content, and a third will obviously be adapted specifically to the development that you're pitching for.
So this is a development that's on the market. It might have an agent, it might not. And you're taking it into the site person, or are you sending it to the boss?
Before that, so we're at the point where you've probably done an appraisal of the site. You've
Off your own back.
Yeah, off your own back. You've been asked.
Has there been any foundations dug at this time?
May have or may not. So depending, if it's selling from plan, then clearly not. But typically, developers had you appraise it, sometimes even before planning. They've now got planning. They're thinking about starting the marketing, and they've invited you to come in and do the fashion show effectively. Turn up, pitch, why you should be the agent to be employed. Now, there's often a lot of running around with people and bits and pieces, but there's very little consistency as I've seen it. And if you're prepared and you've got 2/3 of it already there, and also various variables, for instance, like localized team sheets, you can just slot those in. And obviously then you've got most of it there, but it should be done in a format that you can present both digitally, electronically on the screen, and also print as well. And I think very few agents are prepared and have this kind of document.
Number two,
I know this sounds a strange one, but it's about building up a library of images. Now, I know it sounds really small, but what I've found that both developers and also estate agents rarely keep or indeed organise for professional photography to be taken and then store this in some form of library. Now, as part of what I was talking about, the pitch document, one of the great things is actually to be able to turn up, and part of that pitch document is show a stack on site, show graphic hoarding, all of those things that you've had done or had input in doing.
we're talking about the signs of...
Completely. All of that is part of marketing that you as an agent are generally involved with.
So you show that you've had new home sites before.
Correct. And also you're sitting there, and rather than sitting there fumbling around saying, well, it sort of looked sort of blackish and then had a V coming in here, you can show them. And
Sounds so simple, but
well, you know,
picture tells 1,000 words.
Absolutely. Again, sales traps, where you've helped the developer create the best sort of sales trap, for people to come in and out.
Sales trap?
Sales trap, so that when people turn up, they have to go in a certain way and out a certain way of the show unit. Especially if you've got multiple units, so you're controlling the environment. You're not letting anybody see without registering or in fact reconfirming their registration a view unit.
It's that simple. They've got to go through the show home garage to be able to get to see the house.
Yeah, spot on. But it's your involvement in that as well.
Again, you would think agents would know that, but obviously not.
Well, I don't think I've ever found one agent who's, oh, right, fine, so you did that. Oh, yeah, well, show me the pictures. And nobody thinks that spending, £100 on getting that professionally photographed is worth it. And it's invaluable.
Number three.
So my third thing, absolutely essential, is to do your homework. Do not assume that you know who is going to buy a certain development. We all have prejudice and opinion, but if you've got a development in a certain area, even if you know that area well, look at who has recently bought there, where they've come from. Is there a trend emerging? Have you got a company relocating, a mass employer to that area? And therefore your again, imagery and everything that you do from your brochure. If you're doing the brochure, you've got input with to the developer's brochure. All of that imagery needs to reflect both the age group, the ethnicity, all of those bits and pieces. Absolutely essential that you actually drill down and establish who you're going to appeal to, how you're going to appeal to, and have the relevant call to actions and all marketing involved.
Number 4.
Number 4, selling the dream. For some reason, and I know marketing goes in trends, lifestyle seems to have disappeared. Nobody is selling what a decent product in a decent location brings you in terms of lifestyle. So, this goes for brochures, this goes for online, microsites, even the portals. Nobody seems to be, pointing out the kind of life that somebody could have because of a combination of local features and also the type of, lifestyle photography has just disappeared. And really, at the end of the day, people buy where they feel they're going to feel comfortable and enjoy and thrive.
The home versus house classic.
It is, absolutely.
And you think we've forgotten that as an industry?
We have totally. And in terms of, video work, particularly, people want to see somebody and think, oh, that's me.
Indeed.
And it's as simple as that. And I think that's disappeared completely.
5.
Social media. Nothing to be afraid of, all to gain. I think developers have come into the social media arena, and I think estate agency was still playing around with it at the moment. There is nothing to fear, and every stat it shows that even if you do get an adverse comment, it's how you deal with it. That's the important, not the fact you've got one. An adverse comment dealt with professionally could be better than a positive comment in the first place.
Very much so. A top tip for anyone watching: thank and partially agree. Number 1. Secondly, is kill them with facts, and then number 3, ask a question back. Works all the time. I do all the responses to comments from my clients.
Oh,
yeah, that's it. Thank and partially agree. Kill them with facts, and ask a question back. You go on forever. What's number 6?
Number 6, development microsites. Take away the fog of a corporate site. Now, quite often, we know technically we could have effectively a development sit within a developer's wider group site. But obviously, loads of bits and pieces. You could lose somebody, they could click onto something else. Same goes for some portals, but a microsite that's dedicated.
Just on the portal, or actually a website?
No, just a standalone,
a physical website
with its own URL,
like the Laurels Bottisford.
Spot on. And everything on that, all the SEO and every bit of content on that, is dedicated to that site and that site only.
And you would be setting that up on behalf of the builder as an agent?
Correct.
Are there firms out there that can help build those? Because
yes, I mean that's partly what I do at PKA. But I think and this is not sort of touting for business, but you think about it logically, something that is only dedicated to that site with no external clicks and no other options, and with decent call to actions. And the other great thing about a microsite is you can update it daily if you wanted, but certainly with key sales messages and drip feed information, and with and also the trade-off, register now for an exclusive invitation only bit. You can do that with a microsite.
You can't do that on Rightmove, can you?
You can't. Video content.
Okay, big fan of that.
Every stat supports that people watch video considerably longer, 7 times longer. And that's not just because of the length of the video, naturally, but people will engage with video 7 times longer than written content and also static images. It's absolutely essential. Again, going back to the lifestyle bit, it's selling the dream.
Is that the complete version, or could agents go in and almost do like almost a Homes Under the Hammer? That we've got the builders in, the second fix in, that sort. Would you advise agents do stuff like that?
Definitely. You can have video content playing in the show unit, which is selling the lifestyle choice, the why you're buying here, the local area bit. But there's nothing better than somebody turning up and celebrating milestones within the development. You know, we've just hit plate. You know, I'm down here today, lovely to see this going on, the tidings going down. All of the lovely little
Almost
bits and
interviewing the Tyler. Hello, Jim. How's it going?
completely.
So you're creating almost like a story. Hey, who thought the stories, eh?
Exactly. We had one recently where we did predominantly a drone video. However, the drone started outside at the first floor level of the accommodation cabins with the site manager waving it off. But, you know, again, we could overlay who that was, and he's here. Any questions, if you turn up, if you have any impromptu visitors, point of contact.
Number 8.
Number 8 for me is using the tech you already own. Everybody's got a smartphone. Exactly. And nobody goes anywhere without it. Video imagery on it, and even stills imagery. You know, most iPhones have a 0.5 setting for the camera angle. Great for internals. A little bit of playing with the photo editing, fantastic. Certainly good enough for most, you know, B2B forums. Video as well. There's free software on most phones. You know, iPhone's got iMovies. Gives you intros, bit of title. It's stuff that is free, and for sort of 20 or quid, you can actually get a you know, a microphone that plugs in with a receiver in the bottom of an iPhone, with a transmitter similar to this.
Very much so.
And that's super for turning up on site, giving a little bit of a, you know, update, and again for social media again.
Number 9.
Number 9, look at other industries and what they're doing. Property is behind many in terms of the way they market. You know, we're very traditional. We're almost too safe. Look at, you know, things like automotive. I mean, car industry is phenomenal for coming up with great ideas that really capture people's imagination.
And what's number 10?
Number 10, don't be afraid to be yourself. Inject humor at the right time, and people buy people. Again, you know, develop your own personal brand and become a face in that industry, the property expert, especially if you are on the niche side of the property market. You know, mine, Land and New Homes, and it's always been never afraid to be individual in your outlook and the way you do things.
Thank you for your time today, Peter.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you very much.